We all loved Christmas growing up because we got new toys. Let's look at every year between 1970 and 1989 at the number one best-selling toy at Christmas time. Well, welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, coming back at you with another video. Well, we're going to talk Christmas. That's right, Christmas is coming up, and everyone loved Christmas. Well, I don't say everyone. People that didn't celebrate Christmas might not have loved it, but you might have got some Hanukkah presents or some Kwanzaa presents or whatever you got. But today we're going to look at the top number one, Today we're going to look at number one toy from every year from 1970 all the way to 1989. Sorry, kids born in the 90s. Maybe if you want to see a video in the 90s, share this one, thumb it. We get a lot of views. Maybe I'll do one for the 90s. As for you boomers in the 60s, you're probably just out of luck. I mean, it'll be just 10 toys and stuff like that. So let's start at the beginning. 1970. What was the number one toy for Christmas, not for the whole year, for Christmas in 1970? Can you believe it? It was a soft ball. Nerf ball. Now today we think a Nerf is huge. It's got rockets and cannons and all this stuff. But you remember when Nerf ball was just a little ball. It was just a little soft ball. And finally, you could play a ball in the house. Your mom always said, don't play ball in the house. But you could. Thanks to the Nerf ball, you could play ball in the house. Ooh, I love playing with my ball in the house. Okay, let's go to 1971. Let's see what the... Here we go. This is the toy that I called wrong for many years. Wobbles. I called them Weeble Wobbles. But apparently, after watching the commercial one time, making this video and reading some comments, it's not Weeble Wobbles. That's just what they say. Weebles, they wobble, but they don't fall down. I just always call them Weeble Wobbles. I think everyone called them Weeble Wobbles. Because the commercial, Weeble Wobbles don't fall down. You remember that? They're like little eggs, and you try to push them, and they fall over and get right back up. I think I had a Gilligan set. I don't know why I always think I had a Gilligan set. I don't know if I did. I know I had a little Gilligan's Island tub toy. Man, that was a lot of fun. Playing with my Gilligan in the tub. That was a lot of fun. Let's go to my favorite year because of the year I was born. That's right. The world got the junk baby in 1972. What was the number one toy in 1972? That was probably in my little crib going, yeah, yeah, mom, yeah, 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 yeah. Uno. Even as a baby, I wasn't begging for Uno. This is a card game. We all know it. I remember playing it at my grandma's a lot in the late 70s and probably early 80s. It was a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun game. You know, I always like to have like 2 or 3 cards, but then make it look like I have 1 card, so that way my sister would yell, hey, you got Uno, and you didn't yell it. Because apparently if you get 1 card, you have to yell Uno. But if you don't yell Uno, you got to draw like 4 cards or something. I don't know if that was the official rules. That's how we play. So I always go, oh, I fooled you, junk sis, and I'll fan the cards out. I got 3 cards. And I would always hold on to those draw 4, pick any color. I love those. So Uno was the number one toy when I was born. But what about you that were born in 1973? Well, Baby Alive. That's right, our first girl toy on this list. Well, I guess girls could play with Nerf balls and Weeble Wobbles and Uno, but this one was probably aimed for girls. I know I'll get canceled today saying a toy was aimed for girls, but it was. We're talking Baby Alive. This is a baby that you feed, I think. I don't know. It was a popular baby, though. There's no way growing up in the 70s you didn't know about Baby Alive. Let's go to 1974. This was the toy to play with outside. This was awesome, and it was metal. This was the toy that you could bash someone's skull in with. Tonka trucks. No, they wasn't Tonka truck plastic. These were heavy metal. These were heavy and metal. It was the dump truck. It was the one everybody wanted the most. You fill it with dump. You lift it up. You dump the dirt back out. Nothing was more fun to have outside than Tonka toys. Tonka trucks built Tonka tough. Whew, I saw a Tonka truck made of plastic in the 90s. Made me want to just sit down and cry. Okay, what year are we up to now? 1975. Now, this one came up when I searched for the hottest toys of Christmas. I don't think it's a toy. It's a gimmick. I'm sorry. It's on the list. I checked 2 different lists. It's on the list. Let's just go ahead and get this one out of the way. 1975. The Pet Rock. You heard me. Some guy came up with a gimmick as the Pet Rock. I don't know. He made $1 million off a gimmick of selling Pet Rock. That's almost as silly as making a jump to conclusions map or something. Anyway, 1975, the Pet Rock. If you want to call it a toy, other sites did. So let's go. 1976, we're back to Kenner with the arms that stretch. You know who I'm talking about, Mr. Wonderful himself, Stretch Armstrong. He had a whole video on the whole series of Stretch Armstrong. If you've never seen him, this is a toy that made every kid ask, what's inside this thing? If we only knew it was sugary syrup, we would have cut that son of a bitch open and sucked out all the innards. I know at least I would have, and I'm sure you would have too. Where are we at now? 1977. You think I'm going to say Star Wars, but I'm not. No, there was no Star Wars action figures at the stores in 1977. But what did we have in 1977? Let me look at my list. Atari 2600. This was huge, and it grew year after year after year. But 1977 is whenever it was like, I got to get the Atari. I've got to get it. It comes with combat. It comes with combat. It's got little tanks, little biplanes. You move one biplane, and all three of your planes move together. You got the big one plane versus the three biplanes. I don't know why the planes were bi. I was like, hey, it's okay if you can be bi. Bi's okay and everything, but I don't know why. You know, I don't know why they ain't call it a straight plane. They ain't call it a homosexual plane, but they always call it a biplane. Okay, getting carried away here. 1978. We're up one more year to 1978 with the hottest toy for Christmas. You know what it is. I know what it is. We all know what it is. Kenner's Star Wars action figures, 1978. Only 12 of them, but they were still the hottest toys in town for Christmas, 1978. Let's go to 1979. We're back to playing with games again. That's right, back to playing with games. And this game is the game that said you made you go, boop, 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 boop. Oh, it drove you crazy. Boop, boop, boop. We're talking Simon. Electronic Simon. There's a flash of red, flash of blue, flash of green, flash of yellow, flash them all around. You got to match it. Oh, I could get around the first two levels and then that was it. Maybe I never had a game made me feel so stupid as this. And I had a venture for Atari. Well, let's go into the 80s. We're into the 80s, and back in 1980, this has started off the 80s for Christmas, and it was huge. It was huge. You know, like something else. It was huge. 1980 kicked off with a Rubiks Cube. The toy game so successful, it spawned a cartoon series. That's right. I can remember everyone at school wanted, oh, do the Rubiks Cube, do the Rubiks Cube. I could get one color on the Rubiks Cube. Not trying to brag, just saying I could always get one. You mix it up and say, give me a color, I'll get it. I could do one color. Now, my brother and sister, I remember they got a book at B. Dalton that told you how to solve it. And they could both solve it. They learned that pattern. They knew how to do it. I read that book over and over and over again, and I still could never get past like step 5. I never could get close to doing this. So we went to school with a girl named Rebecca. She got caught taking the stickers off her Rubik's Cube and putting them back in order. I would just hit it on the side of the desk until it popped all apart and then put it back together in order. Yeah, you could do that. You could really take them apart really easy. So we got in the 1980s. 1981 comes after 1980. Believe it or not, we've got... This one kind of shocked me. I don't even remember this one here. A Lego train. A Lego train. Must have been for the younger kids at the time. A Lego train. I don't got much to say about it because it's a Lego and it's a train. I don't really even remember this. But I checked a couple of different lists and everything. Everybody said this was the hottest toy of Christmas 81. So let's go to 1982. This is the year of the furry. This is when the furries got excited because they got the release of My Little Pony. The bronies got all excited too. They were like, oh my God, finally, a toy line for us. Screw G.I. Joe. We are real men. We play with My Little Pony. Okay, I don't got much else to say about that. My Little Pony, it's a little pony. It's stupid. It was aimed for girls. Some boys fell in love with it in the 90s for some reason. Just to be shocking and different, I guess. Now let's go, what are we up to? 1983, another girl toy. This is 2 years in a row where there's a girl toy on this list. It doesn't seem fair to me. Here we go. Everyone knows this one. Not surprised here. And I saw some websites I was looking at said He-Man was. I was like, no, that's the first year. No, He-Man, it was strong seller. Don't get me wrong. Top boy toy probably so. But nothing in 1983 beats out the success of Cabbage Patch Dolls. I mean, there were parents at Toys R Us, Walmart, Target, Zayres, wherever they went, Kmart, beating each other up over these stupid, ugly, dumb dolls. Oh, they were ugly. I hated to this day, Cabbage Patch. I never got, I mean, they weren't even cute. I don't see why girls liked them, and it seemed like the moms liked them more than the girls did. But they would go crazy beating people up over Cabbage Patch dolls. 1984. A lot of you guys out there are going to say, I remember that year. You know what you asked for in 1984. I didn't ask for it. I was probably still in the He-Man or getting out of action figures altogether, but I'm sure you asked for it. Transformers. Now, the only Transformer I did have as a kid was the one that was a gun. Optimus Prime, maybe, I don't know his name. I forget. You'll tell me in the comments below, but he was a gun. I don't know, P-30, no, it wasn't a P-38. I don't know what kind of gun it was. It was silver, I do know that, and it came in a box. I had that one, and I think I had a little airplane one time, too. Other than that, I never really got into Transformers. I've never seen the cartoon. I've never seen the movies. The live-action movies look horrible, so I've never seen those. I know I need to see Transformers. But in 1984, I was 12, 13. Thing I'd have been into it. I don't know why I wasn't into it. I was always a one-trick guy. I was like, Atari, that's what I play. And then Atari's gone. Star Wars, I like Star Wars, that's it. And then He-Man came out. He-Man, that's it. I was never one to have multiple toys. 1985. We're going to go back to a younger set of people who played with this one here. If you played with it, you sat and listened to it. It's probably the scariest toy on this list. It's creepy. Teddy Ruxpin. This is where you put a cassette tape the cassette into the teddy bear, and it would read you some stupid story in a bear voice. Now, I don't know. Probably everybody I know that had one of these, their younger brothers had it. You always get your heavy metal, your Iron Maiden cassette tape or something put in there, and watch Teddy Ruxpin recite the lyrics to Deadly, Deadly Sin Man. Oh, it was great. What year are we at now? 1986. We thought the video game era was dead. It was like no one wants to play video games at home anymore. It's all about the arcade. Atari was in the back of your closet collecting dust. They tried to rebrand Atari, update it, and no one cared. And in 1985, this came out, but it didn't really hit and make an impact in the U.S. market until 1986 and took the world by storm. You know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. TurboGrafx 16. No, that's not what I'm talking about. No one's talking about TurboGrafx 16. I'm talking about NES, Nintendo Entertainment System. It changed it changed our life when that thing came out. I can remember a friend. Well, he wasn't a friend. I knew a girl named Katrina, had a brother that had it, and I never even heard of this thing. And I saw him play Mario, and I was just blown away. And I went home that day and told my parents, get me Nintendo. Get me Nintendo. That's all I said for the whole year. Nintendo, 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 Nintendo. Hey, junkie, what do you want to eat for supper? Nintendo, 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 Nintendo. Junkman, do you want to go to the mall? Nintendo, Nintendo, Nintendo. That's all I said. That's all I said. So I got one for Christmas. 1987, we're back to games again. This one is on the list. I couldn't believe this one. This is the one I couldn't believe. This is Jenga, whatever you call it. Jenga, you build a little tower, and you pull the blocks down, it falls over, and you go, oh no, you knocked over my Jenga. I don't know, let's move. I don't got much to say about that one. In 1988, this is the only toy on the list that has repeated. Can you believe it? It was the hottest toy before, and in 1988, it made it back to the top of the list. And again, we're talking Nintendo here. Probably the best-selling toy of the 80s. Maybe Cabbage Patch Dolls might have beat it. I don't know. But I'm going to say Nintendo is the most popular toy of the 80s. And you can fight me on the whole Cabbage Patch thing. But 80s, it came back. Can you believe it? 1988 had a lot, and 2 years ago when it was released, it only had a handful of games. But 88, every kid had to have this. It had a whole slew of games. This was it, back at the top, Nintendo. And that leaves us with 1989. The number one toy of 1989 is Nintendo. Wait a minute, there's a catch. No, it's not the Nintendo Entertainment System. And no, it's not the soon-to-release Super Nintendo. What was it in 1989 that became the hottest-selling toy of Christmas that year? A portable Nintendo known as the Game Boy. Whoa! Or I call this thing a portable Tetris player because that's about all I played. I had Pipe Dreams, I played it. I had a Mario game, I played it. Had a couple other games, but it was all about Tetris. And it was really good when you got a friend that had it. You could hook the cord to it and y'all could play together. You can play a friend and you stand right next to him with a cord. Now you can play online with friends. It's crazy. But Nintendo was king in 1989 again. Just like last year with the entertainment system, they were back this time with the Game Boy. Awesome. Everyone wanted a Game Boy. Well, that's a look at the hottest toys for Christmas from 1970 all the way to 1989. Now, we could go in the 90s and tell you that the number one toy in 1990 was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but that's for another video if you want to see it. We can go 90s for the 2000s. Oh, I bet the 2000s get boring, don't they? Oh, the top selling toy that year was Hannah Montana doll. Oh, the top selling toy that year was Pikachu. Getting boring just talking about it. Well, that's a look at the hottest toys from 1970 to 1989. Let me know, did you have any on this list? Was there some on this list that you really wanted and you never got? Why do I feel like I've been talking so fast lately? I don't know. Well, let me know this and anything else you want me to know in the comments, and we'll be back tomorrow with 3 videos. Until then, thumb up so you like my content, subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk again soon.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.